Lumba came to Ghana. The man better permanently, no. I had a spine issue. Yes, when you accident been affecting the spine. The evidence before the court, nature say, Omiti Odo Broni 7 years and no operation. And the yari no share Odo Broni 7 years after. And no meet or operation. Which means say no Odo Broni dada. Oba Ghana no 7 years no your operation there. No ba no yare. There cannot be a second wife when there's an ordinance or civil marriage. A woman a wife for purpose of celebrating the funeral, but she can never be a wife. Lumba in his lifetime worked for only 2 weeks. Okwabro ya juma 2 weeks. Akosua Serwaa the first album Akosua Serwaa na status studio here be a man to ahoka. How can the Institute of Language says a marriage certificate now we judge what the court say extra? The expert says it's a marriage certificate, the judge says it's not. It's an extra. Until there was evidence to show said there was married. And the judge pronounced that there be only intimacy, there was no marriage until Obaji's traditional one. Yet overturning decision at Japadibi Obenyabi Obasandiaba. I was opinion they say on a brand new bas on penny, no for some penny, ni mammy some penny, ni na some penny.
So lawyer Kusi, Akosua Serwaa ne lawyer, echiremu se courts. Ochiremu se bibie ni wa Ghana for beka. Papa yi chiremu se on court no obekọ enne. Ochina na de chiyenso eka ho. Na lawyer ne kasem no chiremu se nyame yadoma 13th March 2026 ana yie no ebeba so. Na me sure say Akosua Serwaa in particular onte na no kasa da. Ena me kasa ye maame ababe kasa. Ladies and gentlemen, you from it done. Kwesi Prince Daily View Jesus mesro. So ba no subscribe, wa share, wa comment every baby ahwe free next episode and set me akana before me din sem ni bi di bebro no this episode is probably brought to you by Yes You Can Cyber Secure LLC. Na suapon we US in Penifo say omo ye free incentive practical cyber security JRCIT audit training dia mo bibiara ehun hia se ubehia ICT background bia baby ahwe mi free team free amano na chirichiri ne bencheye no registration no a free na Penifo say omo beche cyber security fundamentals framework standard laws regulations ne dia ka ho infast so dia benefits au benya e cyber security adichire dia we mu ne nema bibiri job search visa na opese ogidi to kwan Penifo beboa o sanso na scholarship packages nso etato a registration link ne dia comment section ase usia yemna yensem ne so ena make say lawyer Edema Akosua Serwaa lawyer Williams Kusi abekasa echirimu se omo ensan kokoto chirimu se nanu defiada judgment ba ya chese judge no etani omo down no omo de omo ne judge no enya dream but judge no na dream eno no ne na dream chire me na make say ohwe videos here dey screen so ene na agent ha na ene ohwe video yi a ubon se dadu Lumba ne Akosua Serwaa bra no mo sensan krata e wo Germany e montin so ene ade na chese bibie di adanse se ampa dadu Lumba ene Akosua Serwaa e ware ya eno ene videos ni ebi eno no na ena make say lawyer Edema Akosua Serwaa Williams Kusi akọ Lawson FM so na ne kasem na ochirim se ye no ye yi na sutire kura se nyame yadoma 13th March which is 2026 and a year no ebeba so me na make say ukọ Kumasi ni Nkramontin so a that Lumba a year ni 13th December benne another billboard ni flyers bi so ni na mabontin chirimu se a year no ebeba so eye nyame eyadoma eye March 13th 2026 lawyer no akasa achirem ene kwan o mafa so aye appeal no
what happened was that ye tender in am ojitum. Now, analysis is not something for waiting to suit because, under section 16111, for failure, and certify document, and that is what to me legally we have to argue. But the rest of the year, we do rather say document, the copies a tender, and our request for original. We brought the original and more. You see, we brought the original of the certificate wasn't as though it was only Germany. Yeah, translate it. Ama ya notarize. One.
What's the meaning of notarizing?
Yeah, notary public or Germany. A shared document because ampa a original translation of the marriage certificate from Germany to English. Any bar Institute of Languages. Any a translation. In the translation it is written marriage certificate. I mean, the expert says it's a marriage certificate, the judge says it's not. It's an extract. And in some of the mistakes the judge, how can the Institute of Language say it's a marriage certificate? Now we judge what the court say an extract. All those are in evidence. And the appellate court will look at them. And it to me, or a big time. But it's her opinion. And as we speak, That is her decision now. But because the nature of the law is said that there cannot be a second wife when there's an ordinance or civil marriage. Even though the judge has made the pronouncement, she can never be a wife. You get maybe I almost a wife for purposes of celebrating the funeral, but she can never be a wife.
So the funeral is coming on.
14th March.
Are you putting an embargo on it?
14th March.
I don't say 13th December. 14th March.
Obi mu say 13th. 14th. They know we. Oh, me the batch of my big boss na.
14th March.
Mas me ni na.
Me hu no.
Me 13th December ani mo fa nyina hu.
Yes, of course.
13th December.
Anom di kan see here. 14th for no so see. Say.
So are we going to have a double funeral?
Yes.
How?
How is
that possible?
Because the family has not decided on the 13th of March.
That's how Abusuapanyin
so onya abusia. Expect no back or to be chire. Mo say ye e ma wo fie na enya Abusuapanyin. We called the expert witness. He came to court. The judge was silent on that. Because in fact, as a matter of fact, the matter before the court was not about a year. It was about marriage. So elsewhere the pronouncement will be made. Oh, that's it. And the female, a man penny for a bushman, no, he only supervised the activities of the funeral. In this case, from the evidence before of us, I was opinion they say on a year. I brand in your bass on penny, no for some penny, ni mammy some penny, ni na some penny. Well, fast here for some penny. I was opinion on quite a year.
Yo, and say. More appealing.
Oh,
and I feel I'm over.
Yeah, appealing. That we had a better office here appeal immediately after the judgment. And now you seek the authorization of the plaintiff.
Okay.
No say, young Kosunyana, on one tiasi and then tiasi, say, on a worry Lumba, another German loan will be paid now.
6.3
on tiasi. We also, in our opinion as lawyers, believe that the judge was wrong. We are going to prosecute the appeal. She protested against how Lumba was treating her before Lumba's death.
Or protested?
Yes.
Lumba treat you or no?
Yes. Okay. More mommy and son. More to Germany, Bobra. Also, Bagana, Banuano Mabium. Or Tia Winima or Ghana. She believes that that is not fair. You are not giving her the necessary attention. So a lawyer was engaged and the lawyer replied after the death of Lumba. The man who instructed that lawyer because we were on the instructor man in
96.3. Instructor man in
will be any 2 minutes of a lawyer.
So free.
Yes.
You are dead.
Exactly. But the lawyer wrote,
say
on behalf of Obusuapanyin, say mano bedi kuna krasi ehunu mobo onye yiri ye jano. This is what triggered the action.
That's Akosua Serwaa.
Akosua Serwaa.
So woman Akosua Serwaa bedi kuna kra.
Because as far as they are concerned, she's not married to Lumba.
Abibi says yana.
Yes.
26.3.
That is what they claim. But court says no one put to wait on that divorce because officer I was appealing to me and give enough evidence on that matter. You be saying oh so ni ho. When I catch yourself, I was only been a kind of say yeah buy and so 20 years ago.
No auntie say under ordinance obi warrior. Now say or sign fetch ko warrior for what happens?
That marriage is null ab initio. It's void.
It's void. But what of they be free more baswe?
Nkolani legitimate. But our DNA dear intimate legitimate da. And for instance, somebody lived with another woman, gave birth to 4 children. Nigerian first wife, Akosua UK, over 20 years. We are in Nigeria, Ghana. Oba, after apply for letters of administration. Nigeria, no Ghana, no.
Lawson FM.
Our warren, a man named TV, apply for letters of administration. Nigeria, that are now 20 years, maybe TM. Said that Bimina Mia court will do say any first one now, Akosua Serwaa on any because she produced marriage certificate quite recently, not even up to 3 months. I did a similar case in court 3. That judge, Court of Appeal judge, or a brilliant judge, delivered himself such a judgment. They couldn't even take another step because it was obvious. Also, sir, Bapara Betrangana ne Obana with three. If you are more matrimony or honor or banity, a new wife, no, and the way you occupy or apply for a course that you can't. Woman, dear, they are entitled to a share of the estate. But oh dear, you can't be entitled to any part of the estate. And in the case of Akosua Odo Broni, or not entitled to any part of Lumba's estate, but the masses, you know, if there is evidence that they are Lumba's children, they are all entitled to.
So
Lumba's
what of if Lumba will every day give this to Akosua Serwaa, give this to Odo Broni?
Or cancer Odo Broni, you cancer my second wife, and my wife are null and void. So I would describe one as Odo Broni, Medofo, said an usual kind of Medofo, on Gaza Mejere. Look, Lumba in his lifetime made pronouncements. Or say Akosua Serwaa, Mejera Mawan, Ultimina,
Yes.
Odua is was a Medofo. They are two different. The man was very conscious of his position because he knew he had married under the Irunchuem. He was very conscious of that too. He made a public show of Odo Broni, there's no doubt about that, but he always called him Medofo. And Akosua Serwaa Mejere, Amatiskawa. So it makes a difference.
Oh, okay.
It makes a difference. So the man was conscious of what he was doing.
Moko appeal na still you still proceed.
Oh, you see, my main can't get back on Chiro. My main can't say me Chiro. Near share authorities, no, because when we were doing the case, we were reviewing the authorities. Asante 4 pounds she done for case we being court. I'm a court and make it pronouncement.
Oh, okay.
And you know that in our setting, cautious, it's a sa and can for culture and here the difference. I would say that even in our Akan community there are differences. And this is the first time any opportunity. Lumba being an Ashanti, Akosua Serwaa being an Ashanti. You're my worry. And that Ashanti Lord, the judge was to review all those things and come to a conclusion. So at the end of the day, when you are writing or you are having an issue that is related to Ashanti region, that will be the locus classicus case for matters affecting marriage in Ashanti region. And it was a big opportunity for the judge.
In coming out with rulings, is it always about the law, common sense? This animal in
96.3.
You see, when you go and you narrate your facts to the court, first what the judge will do is to apply common sense. Then he or she will go to look for the law that supports it. Well, I say the common sense is very important in legal adjudication, but you can't say so without giving legal support to
the law.
Exactly. And you cannot say any law no above you can apply, especially at the High Court. If the Supreme Court has made a pronouncement, now the High Court are now
FM.
No matter how your common sense directs you, you can't use that. You have to go to what the Supreme Court has said and apply that precedence. And the all no and Grophobia free so lawyer assemble san koso biom any ade in fact adwuma made man.
So you're proud about how you handle the case?
Very proud. The people after me.
Lawyer no, Akosua Serwaa lawyer no. Well, say that document no mo dey court no.
Your original.
Well, who's any man no?
The video you see, this case near battle or court in social media.
Yeah.
And near monitor social media no.
Okay.
We found a trend of argument on a particular radio TV station then we realized that they were saying that the certificates were fake. And on Friday
Lawson FM,
I did a video in my office showed the certificate
96.3.
who showed the certificate and the Makosho certificate, you know, the person prejudice the mind of the and so they were so uncomfortable and I was wondering what is happening. Truly, judgment, you see where they are. And in the document, a book I would be producing in Ghana. You get a point. And after judgment, I'm at liberty to say that. I disagree with the judgment.
Do you see on Sini Hands Biana?
I know it doesn't lie in my mouth, but also say, who are me? Who die?
Madame Sundai.
Me Sundai, baby.
And from appeal Ivan Kwa Supreme
review.
Supreme Wapim.
Maybe I'll review. I don't go review.
I say it depends. The number of judges.
Panel
now can say unanimous. Unless you find something very fundamentally
before see and when the evidence exactly out of the blue.
Exactly.
I'll be to the accord.
Oh, but we enter court of appeal. I bet Roman at the Beko. Because
be almost so coluso no almost cut on
exactly. And
is that
what happened? Dennis.
Oh, baby, and Sibase Kunana both spiritual and physical.
There's more entitlement to be a Germany. Entitlement to be you lose the entitlement.
No, and then just say, I'm passing Lumba, why no Germany? Say, I'm more entitlement. Those who are proposing that
undeniably,
Judge said there's no marriage.
No, but along the line, because
I am glad I warm 2 days ago. I'm saying Lumba, you Germany. Like you are saying, factually, it is notorious. It's a notorious person on my worry. And you see, civil marriages. So because Agua also provided certificate of divorce. At least we made the attempt of producing a certificate of marriage.
Yeah.
Where is their certificate of divorce? And let me tell you, that guy you call neutral, or testify said Lumba told them, Germany.
Oh, okay.
It is evident. Or say, Abusuan Kushia or home. And during the day of the marriage, they asked Lumba, Unijire, or so, no, I worry Germany, but I break it down beyond reconciliation. So why divorce? If in their own evidence, it is broken down beyond reconciliation. Oh, okay. What does it mean? And this was an admitted fact. But because it was ordinary, we needed to produce the certificate for the judge to be bold enough to say, so there is. And apart from the certificate, there were base of evidence to show that the people were married. Even this video, and apart the trend mahu, but me yach them.
Any video,
the day that they go married, and one of yes. What does say? And there was evidence to show that there was married legally. And the judge pronounced that be on into there was no marriage to the traditional one. Tell the Odo Broni to my no nya Japadi ni bi. But yet overturning decision ya Japadi be obenya bi obasan dia ba.
Yes, the money benya.
Ni manu dia no. Now say ono advantage the money is 6. All things being equal, all DNA proved. The money is 6.
You have doubt.
The way you are talking, DNA proved. As a lawyer, have been consistent about DNA.
We need doubt.
As you've been consistent.
Oh, we need that. All things because Akosua Serwaa man so we called an expert witness called Teacher Kantanka.
Oh, okay.
He just
from
he was the one I called to tell us some of his evidence even supported Odo Broni. He gave a neutral evidence.
Oh, okay.
I said Busuan Penny and a movie no.
Okay.
And you're Nigeria no.
Oh, fine.
And there are 2 forms of Abusuan, the immediate and extended. If you are head of the extended family, you can't come and take somebody's body and say, I'm going to prepare it for burial. Only immediate family in there.
Wama support.
According to Teacher Kantanka, and in this case, all the women are saying, no, we will not allow you. And that is the authority. Teacher Kantanka came to explain. And Tinya Busuan Penny never Mekoye. And look, after the judgment, we have done research. There is an act, Head of Family Accountability Act, so who a head of family is. And a extended family head, and a bayer so what for you now Busuan Penny be Abefano, a big family. Now the very head na be fari se me ko ye no nko akotran to plan ye wa send the committee no ye what be that asante amane mu enkura wo ro mu play u papa wo esimu na beto adaka wo be ye enye no kre are no part of the funeral Nigeria kuna Are they not part of the funeral?
Part of
and for anybody to suggest, say, I can't just understand.
Ultimate responsibility.
No, it is not right.
Okay.
And it is not Asante. People should get that, and that is what we are fighting. We cannot allow the courts to make laws which are inconsistent with our tradition and culture and let it go. Oh, na me de na kuna na mkoye man koye
96.3
oh de ko you know na kwasi na me answer. Appeal is not about Odo Broni person. They make an money.
No, appeal here about kunadie me boy.
Yes, na binya kunadie yire.
Okay.
The first relief,
okay.
The when kunani ancillary relief.
Okay, so that one is gone.
Yes.
The kunami is
gone.
So yire whether
obi ordinance marriage. Bitimi koye customary no be second wife. So now me for even coming granting interviews after the call. But what happened was that the first day of koye reporter, but I was shocked.
No, when is he call?
When is he call? You get the person. So I thought that
you have to educate people too.
Slightly what happened, you have to mention them. Say the you twist and turn is propaganda no. Empha. That was the reason for it. We were scared. We sent people. We called people to go to a house.
Hey, I was asking him, say, really, you know, the demeanor and the process and the attitude of the client, you know, it
was serious. Oh.
She was going to
serious. We had to call the children to go to the house immediately because we were scared she would do something to herself.
Really?
Share. Wabre. In fact, if you know the story behind Lumba and Akosua Serwaa, you'd understand the woman. Lumba in his lifetime worked for only 2 weeks.
Where
I say?
2 weeks.
Yes, it is true. They may report now.
Akosua Serwaa, the first album Akosua Serwaa na studio and move from the production
studio no.
What does I say? And what they have achieved in life, no? It is mainly Akosua Serwaa. What does it, you know? For her to be told, say, oh, yeah, was quite painful. That's the space why we had to go to court.
That's not because of a problem nearby.
Problem here.
Oh, on TV. Says you never cross too good. Say Lumba,
Lumba came to Ghana, and the man better permanently, no. I had a spine issue. So on a star, I have Michael Jackson, Pani and Nibi, and to Oba. Ghana, with the matter here. People said he was bedridden for 5 years. That cannot be correct. Because the evidence before the court, nature say, omiti Odo Broni 7 years and say no operation.
Okay.
That's the evidence before 7 solid years. And the yari no share Odo Broni.
96.
Otherwise, then immediately after the meeting, it's on by operation. What does it? 7 years after, and no meet operation. Which means say, unoni Odo Broni dada. So it's not here. Enti Oba Ghana no. CFA say 7 years no your operation there. No ba no nyare. Yes, so nya accident be affecting the spine. Ebia na nya serious. To what's in Ghana na ba na. Okoye 96.3 operation. And na owie ne man tena hwiche mu kakra. Enti one term me nya say 1 year kwebedu.
But that time, the wife was not here.
No, she was in Germany. But sending medication. I will answer that question.
Because I'm on for camp.
Because you know, abroach Abraham mortgage. And a would default to if you a Danabeko or Monclack, me and Sam go school Germany. On also Township Colina and a Lumba Abagana, so son who are there. Tumkodabena Ababo Meba. Buy your bag and the ticket is too expensive. I'm referring to what my client told me.
Oh yeah,
ticket board, didn't he? Oba or the member. And I think it was in 2014 the Lumba call. About 2013 permanently, call 2014. We'll see when she will be. Every visit was by the last was when she lost the mother, and Oba 2018. on a Tanta Hilla. Odo Broni ne kusisi ni de man.
Na ayi no mame o de amasade na bam. Obedi kuna.
Odi pa o videos na we tended them.
I know you can kuna there bi o.
Ayi
ukunu mame wu a.
Oye.
But lawyer can say of what say Odo Broni kopra ne dem ho.
On a kusisi.
So what was the communication that was meant to the woman?
The woman felt that was a house help.
Oh no feel sa.
Yes.
But no na zomsen no.
Yes, but Brimpoma there
can be wrong.
Enter maybe.
In fact, I believe Brimpoma at that time might have known Swan in the Oba because they only share any secrets. But Akosua Serwaa wasn't aware say on again now at the time.
So what was she doing there in the house? Because me call me with a fee. Look, you offer you no baby to us. Or
Not Lumba to is Legon. And Oba was on Tantra Hill. Me feel say Odo Broni knew that Akosua Serwaa was Lumba's wife, and for her, she had to accord. In fact, in all their pleading, they said they have always accorded Akosua Serwaa the respect that she deserves. It's written in ink in their pleadings. You get the point.
And then also come by say in their pleading no can say tam be worry we say no. Omubisan so on worry. A man can say the marriage breaking down beyond repairs. And yet not me him say me kunu na worry asmasi. Nti so abagana no any problem. No so me nkra be man na. I mean let me show that. I mean
when did your client get to know say no
from the evidence before the court and what I've been told the third child at the birth of the third child
hey first one second one she didn't know
no third one
and they see you know none reaction to say no yeah
she in fact she wasn't happy and let me tell you Akosua Serwaa believed sincerely that Lumba 96.3 didn't stay too long with a woman.
Abusia lawyer kusi ensem ni bi enonoma ena meka say Akosua Serwaa nso ne Ghana fo abebe kasa echiri mu se asam ne ba na onum so Ghana fo owadofo kora wo echiri ni benja onimom
adofo anapapem Akosua Serwaa fosu na me fremo de asida kese ema mo idi kan ye de asida ma yenya nkopon etoso ma sida koma social media platforms so fo nyina etoso me de Ghana fo nso nyina adofo nyina so me damase legal wives for legal wife for husband adofo nyina mintumi ka edinsa mebobo a mintumi mobo ko papa shi osofo mrebi baya na minim se me wa adofo sa na ma kyredo mama mehu se say me so dofo bi etiho asemi baya no ni mako amanie bebre mu enso no still mugina pintin time echi because to dwanim me damase but mama mehu se me so me ka ho bi ti mo enfo odo enfa mbom na yenya baako na nkunimbi no eye dia ko si de ode ne ho to awrade so no ade nyara di boa no ma ewie ne yie yeso ye de ho ato no so ti me damase because enya na dom anka me nim se mu nyina akra no na obi kai me nti ma se nyina ne se asida enkam obia awrade hwemo so na on kai ho yesu ndi mu no nkunimbi ebeba nkunimbi bi awrade dia ntino edamasi
na injira o osi nyankopon injira bi biara madam Akosua Serwaa nso ensem ni bi enonu na meka say die eye judgment sheet a eye her leadership Dorinda Smith ata ye maame pass judgment docket to general so ene ensem nyina ne de bonten sheet ni bi judgment sheet no de bonten a moko page wa obinya bi akenkan aka ma ene be 62 64 ko 67 wapa okọ page wa obinya bi akenkan ni nyina mu na muso for Dan Kwesi Prince Daily View GH ye de ye ni edi echiri na bibia mu no so haya na ye de bebe som yes you can cyber secure the main control say omo ye free incentives cyber security practical cyber security GRC enti no ko register bi if you for free ye new sika ye new bibia so what country bia bibia wo hwe mi free uti mi free no ko register ehun hia so be hia IT background bia na e cyber security wi mu no ye be ma onim die e cyber security frameworks standard laws regulations any hand on bibia na ye de be som for free umpe we upeden registration link no e de comment section ase click so register packages nso bibire nso tato a any benefit nso tato a ne nyina mu no ubinya any mpanimfo eni nkomom numbers nso na de screen so fa na any mpanimfo eni nkomo ye from Dan Kwesi Prince Makra.